I like going live and not letting nobody know I'm going live. Just sort of sneak up on you. Just sort of sneak up on you when I'm going live. I like going live and not letting nobody know that I'm live and going live. I don't mind talking to myself. I talk to myself all day long anyway. So, being in the room by myself don't matter. Hi. Hello. Welcome to my live. How you doing? It's some Palo Santo Wood. If you just joined the room, hello. 4-boy mom, and I can't even read these names. I don't know why do they make the words that are coming across the screen so light in color with the names, because it's hard to read, and you got to put your glasses on and lean into the screen like that. It's crazy. Welcome to my live. Welcome. Today, I know I said I was going to finish the reading. Gary, hi. Hello. Long time no see. I know I said I was going to finish the reading of the Indigos, who are the Indigo people. I know I was supposed to do that 2 days ago, but life has been lifing, and I couldn't get back on. So today we're going to finish. Oh my goodness, Gary, it's so good to see you. We're going to finish where we left off a couple days ago. So I got the Palo Santo wood burning, I got the sage burning, and I'm going to continue talking about how to protect your energy as an indigo, and some of the techniques that I've been using that are working very quickly. Like, you don't have to do a lifetime of work. You do have to do some work, but you don't have to do it doesn't have to be like major heavy lifting if you just follow the instructions that I've been given. So follow my page. Just click my picture right there. If you're an indigo, or you think you're an indigo, or you want to know more about indigos, I'm the indigo expert. Okay. That's what I have decided. You don't have to believe me, but that is true. And what is an indigo? That's what we're talking about. Who are the indigo people, and why it's so important for indigos right now to be collectively working together. You are very unique. You're in a unique individual, and you're in unique spirit. And this website, when I first found out, I got to turn my fan on because it's starting to get warm here in New York City. And that means if they didn't turn off the heat yet. They keep turning it off and turning it back on, and then turning it off and then turning it back on. So right now the heat is on while it's like 50 degrees outside. I don't even know why. So in your apartment, you're kind of boiling. You got to open up the windows. And then when you do all of that, then the temperature drops and it gets cold again. And then you're back in heat mode. They turn the heat back on. It's like a woman going through menopause. When they say that you get hot flashes and all that. I don't get hot flashes except for when they turn the heat on in the apartment and it's boiling outside. Anyway, getting back to why it is so important that we read this information. First of all, this information, who are the indigo people, I found it on a website when I first found out that I was an indigo myself. And when I found out that I was an indigo, that was in 2007. So I received all this information in this download and was like, you are an indigo. Okay, so it wasn't like that. But anyway, I wrote the information down and I was instructed to research it. So I did. I went online and I looked. And what I found was it resonated with, like there was information that I received from within that actually was true, because I didn't know what an indigo was at the time. I had no clue. I had no idea. What's an indigo? Huh? What? Anyway, once I started doing research, I stumbled upon this website called sunfell.com. That was in 2007. Sunfell.com has been around, or she was uploading. Her name is Lori A. Johnson, the woman that runs the website. And she was uploading content up until March 30th, 2003. I found her in 2007. That's when I found this website. And this information that's on this website is all about indigos. And guess what? The website is still available right now. It's still open today. It's still being maintained 21 years later. I have not been able to locate this woman. I do not know where she is. I have sent her emails upon emails upon emails. She has never responded to me. I've been emailing her since 2007, periodically, off and on. Not like every day do I email her. That would be crazy. But stalkerish, kind of stalkerish. But no, periodically I would email her, and she never responded back. So I don't know when this website is going to be taken down. I have no clue. I have no idea. However, if you're an indigo, you should go check it out. So I'm going to write the website address in the chat. And it's Sunfell. First of all, I am doing 2 lives simultaneously. I am on YouTube as well as TikTok. So if you follow me on YouTube, I am on YouTube, the Indigo Room. If you follow me on TikTok, just click the little icon up there that says Indigo Coach, because that's what I do. I help indigos. Help indigos do what? Help indigos remember the truth of who they are, number one, and help them fulfill, to get in line, in position and in line with what their mission is. I was told that in 2007, but I didn't want to do it. So for 21 years, I kind of okay, I'm going to say not 21 years, probably more like 15 years. I did other things. I did not want to be this. I did not want to be this person. I did not want to be the person who was, tasked with helping indigos and bringing indigos together. I didn't want to do that. Hold on a second. All right, stay out there. Okay. Sorry about that. I have cats that are interested in what I have to say, apparently. My cats always want to be in here. It used to be my dog, Cleopatra. She would always be in the Indigo Room when I did, lives or whatever. But, she's not with us anymore. So, anywho, getting back to how I found out that I was an indigo and why you should go check out this website, sunfell.com. Let me put the address here in TikTok, because I'm doing TikTok and YouTube at the same time. But after I received my download information, I had to go do some research on what an indigo was about. And I didn't really want to do what I'm doing now. I fought it for a very long time. And if you're an indigo and you came here with a mission and you're not doing what you chose to come here to do. You chose to come here to do this. Okay, let's just put that out there. Nobody chose you and said, "Oh, you're the chosen one. You must go to Earth and help them ascend." No, that's not what happened. You said, "All right, I'm going to go down there. Or out there, or wherever it was here that was from where you were to where we are now. You chose. You made the choice to come. You were like, "Yep, I'm coming. I'm going." All right. No, I will not forget who I am. Trust me, I'm going to remember. I'm going to be the fiercest. I'm going to be the one that, creates. I'm going to remember the truth of who I am. And then you got here and you completely forgot. And then you might have had somebody say, "Oh, do you know that you're this really important spiritual person?" You're like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm not into that. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in all that crapola. I don't know what you're talking about, lady. You may be one of them, right? Or maybe you were a sex. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, but maybe you was one of those workers that worked the streets, right? Or maybe you was doing, things that you shouldn't have been doing, right? So a lot of you, myself included, once you got here, and it wasn't like anybody dragged you here kicking and screaming. You volunteered to come here to do this work that you're supposed to be doing. And this is why I'm here to reach out to you to help you remember that part. After you got here, you forgot. So, you chose the situation, you chose the scenario, you chose pretty much how, not the entirety of your life, but you chose where you were going to start at, right? And you believed that you were going to remember the truth of who you are. That's what you were led to believe. And so things happened and you forgot. And so now I'm here to help you remember, right? Remember that where you came from, remember how you got here, remember what your mission is. I don't know what your mission is. I don't know. I'm not privy to that. I don't have that information. So please don't ask me. People be asking me all the time when I'm coaching somebody. Well, what was I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed? I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. It's not my job to know what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know what your contract says. I know what mine says. Mine says that I'm supposed to be here to help Indigos help the planet ascend. I'm supposed to be here to help Indigos remember the truth of who they are. That's my job. Now, I didn't want to do it, but here I am now, right? So your job, and when I do this is not like some kind of cult sign or whatever. That's just how I talk. This is how I talk from New York. I just taught myself, right? And people are going to say, oh, she's doing the sign. No, I'm not doing them signs, okay? I'm not doing the signs. I didn't put it up to my eyeball or nothing like that, so chill. I just had to address that right there, because I caught myself. But anyway, I don't know what your mission is. I do not. Only you and your spiritual team know what that is. Now, I do have a soulmate / twin flame that's here on the planet, and his particular mission is tied to mine. Now, I have information about his particular, I found him, so I know who he is. I have information about his particular journey because we're intertwined. We're two of one soul that got split, right? So we're twin souls or soulmates. That's a long story. But anyway, I know what his mission is. Your mission, I have no clue. But if you connect with your guides spiritually, you have a spiritual team, a spiritual team. You do. Yep, you sure do. People go, what, me? Yes, you have a spiritual team. It's not one little angel, like Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life. It's not like that. You have a team. You all sat down with your team and figured out what it was that you were going to do when you got here, and what your mission statement and what your mission role was going to be in this particular timeline, this one that we're in now, where you popped into my live, and this is where your timeline is. Now, whenever you get this video, that's when, if you're watching on YouTube, that's your timeline, right? So wherever you catch me on your timeline, you have to start to remember the truth of who you are. You're an indigo, if you're listening to this, right? Or an indigo, or somebody said to you, suggested to you that you might be an indigo. So pay attention. You chose this particular timeline to come in and do the work that you chose to do, and you have a spiritual team behind you waiting for you to remember that part and to connect with that spiritual team. You may have been told they're guides, angels, whatever. You have to connect with them. And once you do, then you'll start to receive information. I'm going to tell you, I don't know how you're going to receive it. You're going to know. Okay, yep, I'm connecting. The way I receive information might be different than how you do. But I've been receiving information for a long time, right? And a lot of times I was fighting it. So now I don't fight it anymore. I just come on here, do the thing, and I give you the information. You can join me and some other Indigos in our Discord that we have. It's private. It's small. It's a small group. Hopefully it'll grow because there are quite a few million of us here on the planet. And when I say a couple of million, considering that there's billions of people on the planet, a couple of million is really not a lot. It's a lot for us to have incarnated all at the same time. If you check out my last video, I talk about the different categories and the time frames that indigos were entering the planet. And you may look and see if that is the timeline for you, if that was your timeline as well, what time you came in. I am an alpha and a beta. I'm between an alpha and a beta indigo. So with that being said, go to sunfell.com, click on the Indigo files. You're going to see a link for the Indigo files. Hi, who's that? Phi or Phi? Hi, and SVEOK. Svioska. Svioska? Did I get that right? Svioska. And Rossi. Hi, Rossi. So you go to sunfell.com. That's the name of the website. And the website, as I said, has been up for the last 21 years, and it's been maintained for the last 21 years. And we don't know where the owner of the website is. She's gone missing. She's nowhere to be found, and there hasn't been any updates since March 30th, 2003. So when you get to that website, click on the Indigo files. That's where we're reading from today. So I'm going to start where we left off on, what was it, Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday, the last time I was here doing a live. And I'm just going to read what the information says. You can read along with me if you like. When Indigo kids are ready, they, like me, will want to fly the coop at the first opportunity. I bailed at 19 and never looked back. I still love my family, but I must be independent. Do not let this sadden you, parents. It is simply that waiting 18 years to do things we were born knowing had to be done can be chafing. Please be patient with our impatience and understanding when we make the inevitable errors. Make sure that you teach your kids basic life skills like cooking, housekeeping, care, maintenance, budgeting, and financial management. That last is extremely important in this debt-ridden society. I cannot emphasize this enough. If your own financial habits are poor, then hire a professional to teach this to your kids. It is the best gift that you can give them. And again, this is why we're on TikTok, because I received information that a lot of you are using TikTok, a lot of indigos, and that's where I would find you. That's why I came to TikTok to find y'all. This may surprise you. Hi, Boo. Hi, Mystic. Mystic Ninja. How you doing? This may surprise you, but many indigos may eschew or quit college and either go straight into the workforce or go to vocational school. That was me. I left and went directly. I left school and went right into work. I was like, okay. But I told you the story about that before, so I'm not going to belabor the point. Don't let this bother you. You've been there and done that enough to see that the emperor of education is stark naked. Many of us, myself included, will become self-taught, skillful researchers and library divers. When our mature gifts come online, there will be nothing unknown to us. And a lot of your gifts are coming online. They started coming online last year. I want to say, for the majority of Indigos, your gifts started coming online in the summer of 23. And they've been coming online ever since. So if you've felt that, then that's true. You may have never been able to do some of the things that you are able to do now. All of a sudden you're clairaudient or sentient, or you can read people's energy, or you see auras now really clearly where before you didn't see them. All of a sudden in 2023, you're psychic. All of a sudden in 2023, you've never had those experiences before, but now all of a sudden, it seems like all of a sudden actually, but you always had all of these spiritual gifts. Every single Indigo, let me just say this. Again, I have to emphasize this part, because often people will say to me, well, I'm not an Indigo. I said, well, how do you know? Well, somebody told me I'm a starseed, or I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that. Okay, fine. However, Indigos are in a category all to themselves. They are everything. Like, Indigos have all of the spiritual gifts, all of them, each one of us, right? Some of us use certain gifts more so than others. I used to until I started learning and being taught by my ascended masters and my spiritual team, that Indigos, everybody has these innate spiritual powers, and everybody has this, third eye, blah, 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 all of us. And, some of us are just more, are used to using it more. No, that's not the case. That's not what I found out. Anyway, that Indigos come in with their third eye open wide, most of you, except some of us older ones. It's a little bit harder for us. But the majority, the ones that came in later after us, they came in with their third eye open, like full on, right? And all Indigos have everything. We're all of it. We're actually literally all the things. All of the spiritual tools and gifts, Indigos have that. So you could be a star seed and not be an Indigo. You could be a crystal and not be an Indigo. You could be a faith, you could be a healer and not be an Indigo. You may have one of those specific gifts. Indigos have all the gifts. All of them. You just don't know you got all of them, right? So I'm here to tell you that you've got all of them. You're all of it. And again, some of you are just now realizing it, and your spiritual gifts are coming online. And they started coming online like ting, 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 ting. Oh, there's one over there. Let's turn her on. There's one over there. Let's turn her on. Started coming online in 2023. So if you've never had any kind of experience with your gifts before 2023, and you started noticing little things, that would be the reason. That would be the reason. Hi, need for clean. Is that what it is? Can you show us your art back there? Oh, sure. What? Let me see. I have. I do like collage art in my spare time, and then somebody sent this to me. I didn't make this. Somebody sent this to me. A friend of mine sent this to me. She had it done because it reminds her of me, she says. And it's a lioness, fierce. And then I do collage art. I make jewelry and stuff like that. But most Indigos are creative artists. Thank you. Need for Clean. Welcome. And then everything else are my books mostly. I have a lot of books, so it looks like it's a lot of art, but it's a lot of it's a lot of books. And I'm very eclectic, so I have all kinds of stuff. I'm that house. I'm that person in that house where all the kids used to come, right? That's me. I'm that mom. Even though right now one of my sons says, you get on my nerves, Mom. I don't feel like talking to you right now. Okay, but I was that mom. I was that mom where all the kids would want to come to the house. I was also very strict. So Christmas always looked like it threw up in my house. I'm that mom. The eclectic, crazy, weird, fun, strict. Don't cross me. I'm not playing with you, mother. Oh, I'm not pulling out my jewelry right now. I want to get this reading done, but I will be back on this. These are some of the stuff I make. I'm wearing it, but I will be back on doing my jewelry thing eventually. Once I get this indigo thing finished, because I have to. Otherwise, nothing I do is going to go right unless I get this out. I was told that years ago, and I didn't believe it. I said, "Well, this is what you agreed to do, and you got to do this. And if when you do this, everything will start to click." I said, "But I don't want to do this. I'm an actress. I'm an actress. I make jewelry. I have my own business. I want to do that." They said, "Okay, you can do that. You can. However, you have to do this. This is part of your mission. So if you don't do this, all of this is not going to work properly." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't believe you. So I'm going to go do that. And I'm not going to do this." Have you seen any of my movies? No, probably not. Have you seen my jewelry? Probably not. No. Are you buying my jewelry from my website and droves and my art and all of that? Nope. You're not doing any of that. You know why? Because I did not keep up my end of the bargain. I did not keep up my end of not the bargain, but my soul contract. I did not do what I chose, what I said I was coming here to do. I incarnated into planet Earth to help the planet ascend, and went that way. And that's okay. You have free will. You don't have to stick to your mission. You don't have to stick to your soul contract. You can go your merry way. However, things may not go exactly the way you think they're going to go and hope they're going to go, because you decided to go off track. You decided to go off grid. You decided to go off kilter. So I am back on track. And you know what? Things are going great. Well, they're going a lot better than they have over the years. This is actually one of the better years I've had in my entire life, because I decided to go ahead and focus on what it is that I said I was going to come here and I was going to accomplish. So with that being said, let's get back to the reading. So when our mature gifts come online, there will be nothing unknown to us. We will have the ability to literally pull what we need to know out of the air, which is true. That has been happening to me since 2023. We follow our own threads of learning and often know more about certain subjects than so-called experts. And why pay thousands of dollars to learn stuff that you can dig up in a library or on the web for free? Make sure that your kid can read and write coherently, though illiterates will not fare well in this century. Don't whine at them about the opportunities we'll miss. or the money we won't make. We know that the price of these opportunities, we know what the price of these opportunities is, and have no desire to sell our souls to some faceless corporation just to have a comfier gilded cage. Many of us will be anti-consumers, turning our noses up at the magpie mentality of the consumer cultures. Magpies love collecting lots of pretty shiny things. Many indigos will distinguish between their vocation, calling to mission, and their profession, their career. Many will find some sort of way to combine the two. I could never do it. I could never combine the two, unfortunately. I always have to focus on one, and then if it's not working, because oftentimes I would be on mission, I would be on task. Since I got that information back in 2007, I tried. I said, okay, finally, in 2011, I was like, all right, let me see if I can, stay on mission. And I went, and I got scared, and things fell apart, and I wasn't ready, and then I went back into like the Matrix, where he says, I wish I never took the blue pill. Oh, I wish I'd taken the blue pill. That was me, right? So I would go back to sleep. I was like, all right, that didn't work. So let me go back over here and do my thing, the thing that I wanted to do. Let me go back over here. I can't do both. It's hard. It's very difficult to do both things for me. So it's either one, do my mission, what I came here to do, or do the career, whatever that career is at the moment. Because I'm a jack of all trades. I have had so many different careers. I can't even tell you. So I can't do both. So this is true. This resonates with me. Many indigos will distinguish between their vocation, calling to mission, and their profession, their career. Many will find some sort of way to combine the two and will be very frustrated until they can successfully do so. So I'm at a point now where I'm actually able to do the two things. I figured out a way on how to combine both things, and it's actually fun now. It's fun for me. I'm having a good time. When they do, it will seem as if life is on rails. It runs smoothly, exactly, and work will be physical stuff like raking leaves or hauling firewood. They probably will deem to work for someone else, but on their terms, and will quickly vote with their feet. I'm that one. People used to call me unstable because, if I was at a job, I would, I got to go in a heartbeat. Could care less. I was like, okay, I quit. It's not working for me, bye. Like, oh, why are you so unstable? I'm not unstable. I just know that this is not for me. I figured it out. It doesn't take me, and I'm not a rocket science. It's not rocket science, I'm saying. It doesn't work, it's not working. So, I would roll out. They probably, retirement is a myth to them. They innately understand that they will always have some sort of profession, but they do disdain having to grub for money. Older indigos have an inherent distaste for big government. Hi, Devian and Millie. Hi, Millie. And who's that? I can't see. Older indigos have an inherent distaste for big government and interfering systems, and quietly long for true independence from systems like the economy, money, and salaried work. But they also have the common sense and intelligence to make these systems work for them and understand that overt street protesting, violence, and anarchy are not the way to go. Some will even hold their noses and involve themselves personally in these systems, using their mission instincts to quietly change them for the better from within. And you may find that, you may, as an indigo, you're working in some sort of government program or some system where, you're holding your nose, you work there, but, maybe you work at the White House, you're holding your nose because you're going to work every day. but you're working the system from within. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let somebody, hi, Linda. Hi, I'm sorry I didn't see you when you came in. But don't let somebody, did you see Gary's here? Gary's in the room. Hi, Gary. I don't know if he's still here, but he was here. Don't let somebody else tell you, don't listen to me because you don't know me, right? You don't know me. But I know you. I remember you. I know who you are, right? So don't let anybody tell you what you should or should not be doing or how you should be doing your mission, what it is that you chose here to come, what it is that you chose to come here to do. Do not let anybody, no one, tell you, hello, Bumsy and Deviant Pack is here. Don't let anybody tell you what your mission is. Don't let anybody stop you from what they think, what they're thinking about your mission, and they're saying, no, that's not it. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. All right? You may be here to just be here to hold space for the rest of us. Maybe that's your mission. You may be here to transmute energy for the rest of us. That may be your mission. I don't know what your mission is, but I know that collectively, as an indigo, you do have a mission here. You chose to come here. So there's something that you said, I can do that. I can be that for the group, for the collective indigos that are transiting across this realm, cross realms to get here. I can do that for us. I can hold us down. And of course, then we all got here and we forgot. But I'm here to remind you. You made a decision. You made a choice to come here, and there's something that you specifically do that is really, really important. It's really important for the collective of indigos. That's what I'm saying. Because indigos collectively came here to help the planet ascend. You did not come here individually to do that on your own. You didn't come here by yourself to just do that. You came here with the rest of us. Maybe all not at the same time, several different intervals, but a lot of us are still here. So my job, they were like, your job, you agreed to be like a mother hen and gather everybody together. Okay? So that's what I'm here to do. Snatch your load up and bring you together. Okay. So now we're moving on to the next part, which is some consider indigos to be bizarre, which is true. These assertive individuals are born with their spiritual memories intact. Many parents report that their indigo children regale them with vivid details of past lives or recent encounters with spiritual beings. I know for a fact I used to scare the daylights, the bejesus out of my parents, probably my grandparents too. That's why they all called me crazy. Because I used to ask my mother and father, like, who are you and where's my real parents? What do you do? Where are they? Because y'all ain't it. Who are you? All indigos have clear memories of past lives, although we don't think of them as past sometimes, bringing confusion to us as youngsters. If our physical appearance or gender is different, we may remark upon it or even complain about it until our identity settles in at our 7th year. Okay? I clearly remember one of my past lives. Clear as day. Like, I can tell you exactly where I was, who I was with, what I was wearing, and the color of my skin. Okay? And my gender. It was very scary when I had that experience. And it continued for about I was confused like for about, I don't know, I guess it was like about a month. One night I had this really unbelievable, hi the Rose, I had this really unbelievable, very vivid dream. I think I talked about it many times on the Indigo Room. And it was so vivid. I woke up um, in a cold sweat because I remember it was a lucid dream. I remember in the dream that I was dreaming in the dream. I remember being in the dream saying, I'm dreaming. Looking down at my hands and going, oh my God, whose hands are those? Wait a minute, what? Those are not my hands. And I was sleeping, but not. Okay. So, and I was a male. I was a man in another lifetime. If our physical appearance or genders is different, we may remark upon it or even complain about it until our identity settles in at our 7th year. I was born a blonde, blue-eyed Nordic female. I'm not talking about me. This is Lori A. Johnson. We're reading from sunfeld.com and Elder Indigo Guidance. But always saw a stranger in the mirror as a child because my hair was supposed to be black and straight and my skin brown, and I was supposed to be a boy. That's not me. I don't look like that, I used to say to my mother's bewilderment. It took me a while to get used to my appearance, gender, and its limitations. I am comfortable with myself now, even oh yeah, Gary's still here. Hi, Gary. I am comfortable with myself now. Even so, some indigos cling so tightly to their old identity and they may suffer from gender dissonance and may even get their gender changed. See a lot of that going on around, right? A lot. Indigo kids may make odd remarks about their toys and how real toys are in plastic but are wood, metal, glass, or even stone. We tend to prefer toys that stimulate thinking and creativity over toys that play themselves, and we love puzzles of all sorts. Indigos are generally not phobic sorts. Well, some of us, okay? Because, like, I have phobias. I do. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if they're phobias. I just have my thing, right? Even as youngsters, they can be frightened, but generally do not believe in monsters, ghosts, or devils. Well, that's true. I kind of laugh at horror movies now. I don't even watch them because it's just annoying. Even if the household belief system encourages these beliefs, insects and snakes generally do not frighten them. That's probably true for you guys as an indigo, but for me, I'm running. Always have. I don't like spiders and snakes. And that ain't what it takes to love you. All indigos develop a nose for synchronicity and serendipity and permit ourselves to be used by our higher selves as tools of chance to join a conversation here, a news group there, read a book elsewhere, run into an article later. We are constantly stringing metaphysical beads in our minds and marveling at the glorious change of events we are creating with them. We grow to love cooperating with the cosmic in this manner, and when we've been permitted to act as a tool for spirit, we are thrilled and humbly grateful to be of service. Now that is the truth. See, she got the indigos down, this Lori A. Johnson person. Hi, Mark, and hi, Mojo. Look for some great metaphysical books and archaeological discoveries in the next decade or 3. Those of us who are obsessed about our past lives enough to put up with academia will go digging in places that experts will laugh at. Those same experts will cry when the cocky undergraduate actually finds something and gets credit for it. Many rediscoveries will be made, and the greater world will learn that mankind has been around for hundreds of thousands of years longer than current theory states. Look for some major rewrites about how long this planet has hosted humanity and what catastrophic ca- catastrophes catastrophes. Why can't I read that all of a sudden? Catastrophes it has suffered. The Earth is a laboratory with a cosmic reset button determined by the planet itself. And look for our youngsters finding micro evidence that human civilization has existed for far longer than we ever knew. Our scientific techniques and sieves are becoming finer and finer. They will be instrumental in validating these discoveries. Parents, oh, you know what? I forgot to put this up on stage. Sorry about that, guys. So you can read along. Parents also report that these children can read their minds and seem to have amazing psychic abilities, which most indigos do. But some indigos have their psychic abilities have been dormant and they have not been using them or even processing them or even acknowledging that they have them. And they've been starting to come online and kicking back up online since last year. So some of your psychic abilities are starting to come online. And you're going, what the hell is this? I know what's getting ready to happen. I can sense this is getting ready to happen. Why am I getting this feeling? And then you may even share this information with people, and then they look at you like you're crazy, and then the thing happens, and you go and see, I told you, right? That's because Indigo's spiritual gifts are coming online. Again, I have to reiterate that as much as possible. As a general rule, I'm sorry. Many indigo youngsters may go through a rough adolescence with some paranormal manifestations and extreme mood swings. They may cause poltergeist activity, bend silverware, or interfere with electronics and overload lights. This is something that has been something that has always been a part of my life with the electronics and overloading of the lights. This is not a permanent problem, and when the hormones settle down, so will the outside activity. Indigo kids at times exhibit extreme sensitivity to outside influences, getting ill, or crying at the drop of a hat. That was me. When they learn how to shield themselves properly, these problems will cease. And I still kind of do. I don't cry at the drop of a hat anymore. I've learned how to, but I am sensitive. I do have that going on about me. Maybe you're sensitive as well. But you can learn how to shield your energy and protect your energy so that you don't have these up and down emotions. And again, as I stated last time I was here, if you go ahead and get the book by clicking the link in my profile, if you're watching me on TikTok, or the Linktree link, because there's a Linktree link in my profile on TikTok, and there's a Linktree link in the description here on YouTube, and it will take you to all of the things indigo. And the first one is the book. And if you click it from the Linktree, it's $7. If you go through the website, it's $11. But that book will help you. It's got tools, it's got information in it on how to dissolve the false selves. Once you read the book, I explained it the last time I was here, but you will start to balance out your energy. It's like, when people say, "Oh, I'm so even," when they're smoking, smoking the green stuff, right? And you go, "Yeah, I'm even." That means you're neither upset or you're neither depressed or too happy. You're even. You chill. You just chill. Even Steven. Well, this will help you to be like that even in your emotional world all the time so that you're balanced. That's the whole point. You got to balance your energy. Anyway, so click the link in my profile or my description. It'll take you to the book. Get the book, get the book. We may be accused of being detached. Oh, sorry. As a general rule, indigos grow to become pretty stable emotionally. We are not liable to cry at artificial stimuli like movies and such, or get romantically fluffy, or involve ourselves too deeply in others' problems. We may be accused of being detached or uncaring, but this isn't true at all. The indigo simply understands where his or her own life ends and the other begins. Indigos innately understand that people are responsible for their own lives and actions. We do not suffer fools or deliberately manipulative people gladly, and we can be pretty blunt with our disdain for such people. What is really interesting is that these abilities will strengthen and new ones reveal themselves as the indigo ages. Many indigo psychic abilities are locked away until the individual reaches a certain age, usually around 28 or 29. This is a built-in safety feature because the mental maturity to handle these gifts isn't really complete until the late 20s or early 30s. All indigos will have an dark night awakening experience. If you haven't had that yet, don't worry, it's coming around this time. These coincidences with their Saturn's return, where their true mission manifests itself, and they have had enough time and experience as adults to try, test, fine-tune, and learn to trust their innate psychic and intuitive abilities. Younger indigos may be aware of their mission from childhood, but until this period of their life, they may have difficulty staying on course because of their innate curiosity and love of experiment and exploration. The return of the inner mission can be rough. Hold on a second. Okay. The apparent, hold on. Sorry. I need my glasses to give my eyes a rest. I am working on a project and I am in front of the computer at least 14, 15 hours a day. The apparent lateness of this bloom or awakening is due to the longer lifespan of surviving indigos. But this period is experienced by all people, indigo or not. Even the early alpha and beta generations will live considerably longer than their peers and will exhibit a youthful appearance well into middle age. As I stated before, I am between an alpha and a beta, actually. The 30s are a decade of rediscovery and recovery of the extremely high-end psychic abilities like instant access to the Akashic realms, real-time remote viewing, clear channeling and interaction with inner guidance, instant assessment of people's thoughts and intent, deliberate synchronicity, sheer dumb luck, simultaneous time hopping, paralleling. That's like, when you're jumping universes or quantum jumping. Indigos don't have no problems doing that. As you start to come online and as your gifts start to come online, it becomes easier and easier to do those things. And you really, okay. Anyway. Simultaneous time hopping, paralleling, and other intriguing gifts. The healing gifts uncover themselves in the third decade also. These youngsters will grow up to become formidable healers should they choose to fine-tune this particular gift. Remember when I said you have everything? You are actually and literally everything. You're all the things. You have all the things as an indigo. Hi, Putin for real. Oh, peanut. Peanut for real. Okay, hi. But you have all of the spiritual gifts. And indigos really think, they really walk around like saying that I don't have that. I don't know. You got it all. Okay. The fun really begins. Most of the 30s will be spent discovering and fine-tuning these spiritual gifts. The fun really begins in the early 40s, and the high power aspects of the mature indigo begin to emerge. So, if your kid seems to be brilliant but scattered, slacker, or turns his or her nose up at traditional education and career opportunities, take heart. The mature inner core soul knows how to bide its time and will do so. Although it might be frustrating for you at times, it was frustrating for me, and I'm sure it was frustrating for my parents. Remember, it is their life, and they chose to return. You were their guardian and teacher. Okay? So if you have indigo children and you're going through it, remember that. An unusual characteristic of indigos is that they frequently appear androgynous. It is often difficult to tell if indigos are male or female, homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, or asexual. Their sexuality is not their primary concern. However, it is their spirituality. Many indigos, I have been also misgendered, miss whatever. You know, people decide what I am. They don't know me. I've had a lot of women come up to me and think that I'm interested. I'm not. Okay, but whatever. That's because we give off this energy of, indigos give off this energy of is air of difference, is energy of different. Anyway, many indigos may choose not to marry or have children. This is the trend for the elders and will run in the younger ones too. We can care less about sex. Some older indigos, myself included, have often wished that they could have come in at a neutral gender so we could do our work free of the sexual harassment, to our eyes anyway, of the breeding populace. The androgynous appearance of the main working group of youngsters was the response to our request to make this easier on them. We are not interested in reproducing. This is not our purpose here. We are here to facilitate the great planetary changes that are on the horizon. That is why many indigos, that is why I keep saying that indigos are here to help the planet ascend. We also have an innate knowledge of how the wheel of karma works and know, as the ancient sages did, that reproducing will only guarantee that we will have to reincarnate again. Many of us volunteered to return for the task at hand and have no plans to go native. If you harass us about this, you will be given the cold shoulder. And do not force your indigo child to date, marry, or pressure them for grandkids. And don't be alarmed if they try on various sexual hats, including gay, bi, and even transsexual. Be content that they are here to pull us through the coming major changes. Again, this is from 2003. Okay? Just look at where we are right now. Look. Religions both fascinate and repulse all indigos. That is true. They may be raised in a particular faith and will end up shedding this religious overlay as they grow their own internal wisdom and spiritual discernment. The rediscovery that the kingdom of God dwells within them How long have I been teaching that if you follow me? If you've been following me since 2007 when I started the Indigo Room, and then we found 2009, we found Neville, like it was breadcrumbs leading us in the right direction. The rediscovery that the kingdom of God dwells within them is the catalyst that empowers the indigo and has been described as a genuine awakening moment akin to the Christian born again experience. Once the gnosis has been achieved and the indigo becomes fully conscious, then their innate gifts begin to truly manifest. Unlike most mainstream religious experiences, the personal inner awakening of the indigo is a private thing and is generally not evangelized. People, who can discern auras will spot the unmistakable crown flare of the awakened indigo, which shines like a beacon in the spiritual realm. Many indigos become experts on many religions. Hi, I don't know who that is, but hello. I see your picture. This says your picture. It doesn't have a name. Many indigos become experts on many religions, dogma, and rituals are fascinating to them, and they study them for their use as tools of awakening. Sometimes they will even join a religious sect for a while, but generally do not stay. Many social groups and rituals make little sense to indigos. That's why I have such a hard time with social media. They see politics and social climbing as Byzantine routes to fleeting and elusive goals. If they see a cause that interests them, they may briefly join a staff or work for that organization until their curiosity is satisfied. Then they will drop out. Indigos are both fascinated and repulsed by rigidly embedded systems like politics, education, religious, and most social systems. They can see the forest from the trees, and to them, everyone is looking at bark and leaves and not seeing even the tree, much less the whole forest. They generally avoid getting tangled up in these systems unless they are sucked in by their curiosity to find that doing so is part of their mission. It is as if indigos have both the yin and the yang, male and female qualities within them. We resist cultural gendering programs. I have been told that I think like a guy, although I am a woman. And if you test your indigo children for gender-oriented abilities, you will find that each sex tests just as well in the opposite skill sets. So girls will have high spatial and mathematical abilities, and the boys will have high linguistic and cognitive abilities. Left-handedness and ambidextrousness will be the norm rather than the exception. This is because we are not hemispheric and divided in our thinking and mental function. Instead, we are integrated and holographic in our thought processes and in our ambidextrousness. It is a reflection of that inner function. We go for the simplest and most painless and useful solution to any problem we encounter, even if it seems to go against the grain of gender programming. The old left-right, male-female brain paradigms will not fit us. Our brains are integrated, and we choose whichever hemisphere that solves the problem. This may lead to the appearance of gruff arrogance socially, but these rough edges will be polished in time. Indigos do not suffer fools gladly. I hope that parents of indigo kids will find this guidance useful, and that any indigos reading this will find encouragement in these thoughts. Being a late bloomer can be a drag, but the payoff is well worth it. Hold on a second, I gotta verify that I am who I say I am, with the little puzzle piece, I guess. Being a late bloomer can be a drag, but the payoff is well worth the wait. Be patient. Let your ancient inner wisdom guide you, not your impulsive young body. There's hard work for us ahead, but take time to enjoy this life. Two, I have blessings be. And this was from 2001 by Sumfell, and that is Lori A. Johnson, who we still can't find 21 years later. And her website is still being maintained 21 years later. And nobody knows where this lady is. Well, I can't find her. I haven't been able to find her in 21 years. And if you go to sunfell.com, you will be able to click on a link that says Indigo Files. It's sunfell.com. This website has not had any new content put on it since 2003, but somebody is maintaining this. And I honestly feel like wherever Lori might be, wherever she is, I don't know if she's with us or if she transitioned and left the planet, wherever she might be, I think she's maintaining this website with her own indigo energy so that indigos have a place to start to find and find this information and see if it resonates with them. And once it does, then you can connect if it does, if it resonates with you. Because I know when I found it in 2007, 4 years later, it resonated with me. And I've been looking for Lori A. Johnson ever since. I don't know where she's at. But the website is still up. And at this point, I don't know how long. Hi, LaDonna. I don't know how long the website is going to remain up. It's not my website. I don't maintain it. It could be gone tomorrow. But for 21 years, it has been sitting. And nobody's going over there. Nobody's maintaining it. Nobody's adding anything else to it. It's not being updated. And if you look at it, you can see that it's old. So take your indigo having behind over to sunfell.com and click that link. Tap the like if you're in here, right? Give me a couple of hearts. Go over there to sunfell.com and click on Indigo Files and read it for yourself. I'm only reading it so that I can create an audio archive of it because I don't know when the website's going to be pulled down. It's been sitting there for 21 years. It might be gone tomorrow. But at least now, we have some audio of it, and that's all I can do, right? So it could be gone tomorrow. So I'm just saying, while you're here, take your little cell phone over there. Take your cell phone over to the website and look at it for yourself. So in the meantime, I also wrote a book. And it's called Indigo Activation, Indigo Merkaba Activation, right? So there's a tool that I have received that I've been sharing with the indigos that I work with in our Discord. So if you go to the Discord, you go to the link in my profile up there, or if you're watching me on YouTube, it's in the description. Click the link and then go over to my link tree and get the book. And it's not really a long read. I'm gonna have to read it here live too, because y'all are just taking your time, thinking you just got all this time to do what you came here to do. You really don't. Not anymore. Now it's time. That little lollygagging time that you had is over. There's no more lollygagging. Y'all got to get on board, right? You got to get on board and get busy. So this is about clearing out negative energy so you can learn how to balance your energy, right? And it's about getting rid of those selves that you've created. You did it. I know, right? It's like, she's blaming me. Well, listen, that's what they told me, so I got to tell you. We created it. We did that. We created these false selves, right? We have a lower self that traveled with us, that came with us on this journey. Remember before at the beginning, I said that we all have a spiritual team. Well, your lower self is part of that spiritual team, and he or she came with you on this journey here to planet Earth. But the many times that you've traveled here, you've traveled with this lower self, the same lower self, this being. It's alive. It's a real being. You traveled with this individual, this being, and I say individual because that's the way I can frame it so it makes sense to you. And every time you came back to the physical, every time you came back, that part, that lower self traveled with you. And each time you had an experience that was not really good, let's say, good or bad, every time you had an experience, you created a false self that was overlaying this lower self. So if you can imagine making those cakes where there's a gift inside. I can't remember which ethnic group makes those cakes, but there's cakes where you eat the cake and then there's different gifts and prizes inside them. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, anyway, maybe you don't. Anyhow, it's like you put the gift inside the first layer, right? And then you put another layer on top of it. So that's another self that you've created. And then you had another experience and another layer got put on top of that. And these layers just keep piling on. Like you have never dissolved these layers. And so every time you have an experience, you kind of trigger a false self. So let's say you have all these different layers, right? Boom, boom, boom. You got the prize is down here at the bottom, right? The real true self is all the way at the bottom. And you have layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, just piling up on top of that, on top of your true lower self. People say, I'm in my lower self, she was in her lower self or he was in her lower self, as if it's a bad thing. It's not. It's not a bad thing. It's just piled on with all of these cells that you created as a shield, right? Basically. Because something bad happened to you in an experience. Maybe you got robbed and you created this layer of fear of being robbed. So now that's piled on. Maybe in another lifetime you were deleted. So you have a fear of being deleted with a knife. And then another lifetime you were in a volcano. So you have a fear of, the earth moving and shaking, earthquakes. And then in another lifetime, you lost your child. And so now you have a fear, you've created this, I'll never have children again kind of thing. So every time you have an experience, whatever that may be, that's really traumatic, good or bad, you create a self out of it. Now, people call it shadow work, and there's nothing wrong with that. Carl Jung has talked about shadow work. People are writing books about shadow work. As a matter of fact, there's a book going on around now on TikTok where people are buying and saying, oh, this is the best book I've ever had, blah, 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 blah. And where they're doing the shadow work. I get it. Oh, great. You're deleting the shadow that you created. You created it. It didn't just pile up on you by itself. At some point, you had a hand in creating it. So this is your liberation because you created it. You can uncreate it. You can get rid of it. And I'm going to tell you how, right? It's in the book, but I'm going to tell you how to do that right now. You don't even have to buy the daggone book. I'm just telling you, I need 30,000 of you, 30,000 indigos to do that type of work for yourselves. Help others. And that's how you begin to help the planet ascend. So this is what I'm saying. So it was revealed to me. I got to reveal it to you. All right. Anyway. So now you've got your lower self that travels with you every time you come to this planet. Every single time you incarnate, your lower self gets back in, decides, all right, okay, Sydney, you're going back to planet Earth to help? Okay. All right, I'm coming with you. All right. Okay, let's go. climbs back in and gets encased in all of these cells that you have created previous lifetimes. You know how loving that is? That your lower self, this is a loving being, right? Somebody that loves you in the blue realm before you decide to take this next trip. And they're like, yep, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you. All right. Maybe this time you'll remember. Maybe this time you'll start dissolving those false selves that you created in previous lifetimes. Maybe this time we'll get it together. And they get back. They go right back in there, right? They're in your lowest. They come and travel with you. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Right? Okay, so they're traveling with you. Okay? And where are they? They're not in the right position because you have encased them. It's almost like a prisoner. It's almost like you imprisoned your lower self in concrete. And they are now down here, down low in your second chakra, where they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be up here in your third chakra, right below your heart. That's where they're supposed to be traveling with you. Okay? But they're down here low. That's why they keep telling them, everybody keeps saying that you're in your lower self. Your lower self is not really a bad being. They got a bad rap. So now, this lifetime, you're here. And you go, I just met this crazy, crazy lady. Her name is Sydney. She calls herself the Indigo Coach on TikTok or YouTube. And she wrote this book. And in this book, it's talking about I can dissolve some of these false selves, and I can do it immediately. Yes, you can. And keep it going. Whereas sometimes you're doing all this other work and stuff creeps back up. Okay. So basically, once you get triggered, so now you're walking down the street and somebody says good morning to you, but they say it in a really, I don't know, maybe arrogant way. That's all they said was good morning. You ever meet somebody and you are having a normal conversation with them? It's just, you've been friends for a long time and maybe you said something to them and all of a sudden they come at you kind of crazy and you're going, who was that person? Who was that? I don't even know who I was talking to. Who are you? You're literally talking to their lower self encased in an experience that they had previously before, right? You're not even talking to their real lower self. You're talking to their lower self through all of these layers of experiences. And so the person that you are dealing with, the person that you're having a conversation with, is definitely not the same person because they got triggered by something you said. And they don't even know it. They don't even recognize it. Anyhow, one day I was ruminating over an experience that I had had with a friend. And I was going over it and over it and over and over and over in my mind. And I was trying to find a way that I could revise it, because we had been learning how to revise your day from Neville Goddard. So I'm a big fan of Neville Goddard. Love him. Used to teach him all the time. And that's when I really started to understand the kingdom of heaven is within you. But anyway, I digress. Going back, I was ruminating over this situation, trying to figure out a way to just revise that situation with my friend, because I didn't like it. And then I was thinking about all the things I should have said. I'm a Taurus, and I'll think about, I'll ruminate. I'll be like, I should have said this. Should have said that. I should have done this. I'm fighting with the air. Friends long gone, and I'm still in there fighting, boxing, shadow boxing. That's where shadow boxing comes from, because you're boxing your shadow self, right? So I'm boxing, fighting. And I hear, stop ruminating. No, I hear, stop creating another self. And I was like, what? Who said that? What? It's my guides, because we have really open communication. They're welcome in anytime. You have to invite your guides in. They're not going to just step in and start helping you. You have to actually connect with them and ask them to step in. So I'm having, they're telling me, stop creating another self. You're creating a new self. I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I'm trying to figure out a way to revise this whole situation so that I can have a better experience with my friends. And they were like, no, you are creating another self. You're in the middle of creating another self. Because I was ruminating over it, right? Just going over and over and over the thoughts in my head. I should have did this. I should have said that. How dare she? Why didn't she think this? And blah, blah, blah. I'm going about it, and I'm winding up covering. I didn't even understand what I was doing at that point. And then I sat down and I started getting a download about creating, adding a layer over my lower self and creating another false self. So I was getting all this information, and I just sat there and I was like, what? Wait, what? So all I have to do, wait a minute, is step out of it, take the emotion out, because it's the emotion that helps you to create this other false self, right? So step out of this situation. If you're in the middle of creating a situation, you're in the middle. Bye, Gary. You're in the middle of creating something. You don't even realize that you're doing it. So you step back and you say, you step back, you pull the emotion out of it, and you just look at the situation. What's happening? What happened? What happened? Right? You said this and your friend said that. And you said this and your friend said that. There's no emotion in it, and there's no energy going into me creating another false self. There's no energy going into that. I'm just looking at it objectively. So in that moment, when you can catch yourself, if you're having a blow up with somebody or whatever, catch yourself in the moment. You'll stop yourself from creating a false self. You can catch yourself in the moment. And you step back and you go, okay, I'm going to take the emotion out of it. I'm just going to take the emotion out of it, right? You may not be able to do it in that moment. Like you may be fighting with somebody and you're just going, like you said this and I said that, and blah, blah. And then you get home and you go, what just happened? Okay, so in that moment, step back. Take the emotion out of it. Out of the situation, take the emotion out of it, and just look at it from a totally different perspective. See your friend or the person, your mother, your father, your sister, whoever it is. See yourself. You're now the mediator, stepped outside. And you're looking at this situation, and you're looking at it from a non-emotional state. And you can say in that moment, I now dissolve the self that I started creating in anger, fear, doubt, worry, frustration, whatever the emotion is, right? Past, present, and future. Why? Because all time is now. So if you're dissolving the past self that you created, you don't even have to know all of the selves that created this false self. You don't even have to know all the situations that transpired that you created this false self in. You don't have to know that every 6,000 years ago, whatever, I'm just using an arbitrary number, 400 years ago when you showed up on the planet as Joe Blow, Marianne, Sue, whatever, that you had created a poverty mentality, or you experienced poverty, and so in that, I'll never not have money again, or lack mentality, or whatever it was that you created, right? You don't have to know all of that. You don't have to look at all shadows and go backtrack. You don't have to do all that. Just in this moment. In this moment, what what you're experiencing now. You're at home and you're going, oh, I just had this huge blowout. I'm now looking at it from a non-emotional state. Joe said this, I said this. Why? Okay. He said this and he said that. Why? Okay. So now there's no emotion. I'm not fighting with nobody. I'm not angry. I'm not hopped up. I'm not ready to fist fight like, before when I was fighting in the air, right? So now close your eyes for just a minute. Imagine that situation, whatever it was, and you say to yourself and your guides, and your spirit team, and your God, Goddess, Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit, I now, Sydney, dissolve the self I created, past, present, and future, in fear, let's say. Fear of not being right. I dissolve that right now. I dissolve that self that I created, that false self that I created, past, present, and future, in fear of not being right. And just imagine that your lower self is now free, and you see it dissolving. You see this layer coming off of your lower self and just dissolving it. That's it. The first time I did that, I experienced immediate relief. It was immediate. So if you do that, try it, see if it works for you. A lot of the indigos that I've been working with, it has helped them. But I explain it better in the book. It's easier to explain when I have more time. But do check it out. The link is in the description or in the profile. Link is in the description or in the profile. If you're watching me on TikTok, it's up here. If you're watching me on YouTube, it's down there. And see if that technique works for you. I give other easy techniques to use, but that's it. And you will start to free yourself and start to balance out your own energy. You'll start to balance out your own energy. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling not to have these high and lows all the time when you're going back, like these high highs and these low lows, and things are all frenetic, and you're like, okay, I gotta worry. Okay, I got this done. Now I gotta worry about this thing. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? It's just a way. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, because you got a lot of layers. You're a layered, multi-layered individual being. So as you get triggered and as you move through different experiences, and dissolve each of those layers, they will come up, and you have the tools to dissolve them. You don't have to be journaling and writing it all. Well, you still could journal, I'm just saying, but you don't have to it's not a really huge process, is all I'm trying to say. So do check out the book and get back to me and let me know if it worked for you. And if it did, great. And if it didn't, well, great. Then find something that does. Maybe I'm not the one for you, right? Maybe you're not an indigo, but if you're an indigo, it will work for you. So the website again is sumfeld.com. Go finish reading the rest of it because there are a couple more entries on the website, and the final one is going over. Hold on a second. How come it's not going backwards? Okay, there we go. We went over indigo generations, but there's crystal or octarine that's also where you can read. I'm not going to read the rest of the website because that's something that you should go do yourself, right? I gave you the majority of the information, and I've given you the majority of the information that's there on the website. So you can also find me on YouTube, and I have uploaded some of the information from the website on onto my channel here, my page, so you can follow me if you like, because I go over different things for Indigos pretty much once a week, and on TikTok anyway. I'm getting back to doing more YouTube videos, but I've been busy building a community, creating a community for Indigos so that we can all connect and work together. So if you're an Indigo, you think you're an Indigo, follow, like, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Follow me here on TikTok. And we hopefully will connect. I just recently met on TikTok an Indigo. She says she's an elder. She's an alpha. She just turned 80 years old, and she has some information to share. Hopefully one day I'll get her to join us on the show. We'll see. And Linda's here with me, and Gary. So you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And I'm going to go. Love you, and hope to see you soon. Bye. Bye, Linda. That should be like my tagline. Bye, Linda.